Yo, what is going on, D-Bags? Hope you guys are doing well. Back at it again here with another episode of the Detox Podcast, episode 65, if I am counting correctly. My name is Darren Rita. I'm your host. Feel free to connect with me. Any of the links down below. And if you're new here and you enjoy comedy, music, or podcasts, do consider subscribing. And before I introduce you guys, my guest this week, and get started with the show, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about car insurance. So these days, it seems as if we're able to do more and more from home. So while you're at home, why aren't you saving money on your car insurance? Your hometown agency, Kenosha Auto Insurance, has specialized for years in simple, hassle-free car insurance using the latest in touch-free technology to help you get the best rates for you and your family. So what are you waiting for? Give them a call today at 262-448-4141. That is 448-4141. And the website is kenoshains.com. One last time, that's 262-448-4141. Give them a call. Tell them D. Rita, D-Talk sent you. They will set you up, I promise. With all that being said, now, we're here, episode 65, and I want to introduce you guys to my new guest this week. He's his first time around the show. He's an interesting guy that I've gotten to know here just a little bit, but he's the oldest of three siblings. One of them happens to be the always ridiculous Big Ty that I'm sure you guys are well aware of. He's a hardworking and overall just chill dude so far, as much as I know him. We'll see. Maybe we'll get in a fight here. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But no. without further ado, let's give a wet detox welcome to my guy Blake Davis. Hit the clap track. There it goes. Everyone listening through my mic is like, what the fuck? I shouldn't do that. That was a bad idea. How you been, man?
Not too bad. Easy drive up here.
Yeah, only 50 minutes for you guys?
Yeah, about that,
And you're out in Beloit, right?
Yeah.
So have you lived there your whole life?
Yeah. Hanging out with Big Ty,
Yeah. Raising him right?
Trying to.
Yeah. How is being the oldest of three, right?
It's a big responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially with a guy like him, he just doesn't listen to nothing. Oh, yeah. Doesn't want to listen to nothing. So now he's starting to kind of get it in his life, and figuring it out. So I did good with him. So hopefully my sister does listen to me too.
What you ever feel pressured as an as the oldest sibling, I guess, not as just an older child, but to be a role model for your younger siblings? Because I know I've felt that personally sometimes, where not necessarily pressure, but I just it's out of maybe even my pride, where I need to do good so that they can see that I do good and see that they can also do good.
I definitely think pride plays a big thing, especially for me. I wouldn't definitely say it's like a role. I mean, I definitely paved the way for him. As a big older brother, you got to break the rules first, and then it gets easier for them and easier for the younger ones too.
Yeah.
So you got to break the mold, and I definitely did that for them. And kind of I don't know how much we're gonna get into it, but the way we kind of grew up too, it's I kind of felt like I had more of a responsibility in a sense of not as much as being a father, but
another adult maybe presence.
Yeah,
they had to grow up sooner.
I guess because me and Ty were so close in age and went through a lot of the same stuff. Our sister's a lot younger, so I definitely feel kind of more of the not I'd say father figure, but more of the mature adult man. It's bring a boy around, He's gonna meet
She's
me
not dating
first.
Yet, is she? How old? Well, how old are you first?
I'm just turned 23 last week.
Okay, well, happy belated birthday.
Appreciate that.
That's awesome. You made it 23 years young. That's insane.
Halfway done.
Yeah. What did you do? Halfway
Yeah.
done? No.
I always had
No.
a weird thing about I'm gonna die at 50, so I'm kind of almost halfway there if that's true.
Damn. Why 50?
I hope not 50. I used to think it that's a good age. You're young enough. You lived enough. Call it quits. But
You
no.
just want to end at 50? I used to think that too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Not necessarily 50, but I do have trouble seeing myself as an old person. I just don't want to do it.
So especially with the way the world is now too, I'm kind of scared of getting older and scared of bringing kids. And just the way the world is now, it's
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I am hopeful for and in growing old is that we're going to be the first generation that came up with good technology. And I feel like maybe by the time we're old and senile, I'll be able to just sit there and play VR or some shit and feel like I'm still young because I can just die and play video games until I'm dead.
It's funny to watch my grandmother and my grandfather try to work their phone because they just got smartphones a couple years ago. And it's just so weird to see them trying to work and they still just understand it.
Yeah.
But I definitely think growing up with it, it'll make it a lot easier to bond with the grandkids one day and whatnot.
Yeah.
But at the same time too is I love that about my grandfather. He didn't because he's just that old, rough, tough man.
Yeah.
It's just the old ways of living. I take a lot more pride in that, the older way of living instead of the way it is now.
What about the older way of living? Just the simplicity of it, or
there's less bullshit and less drama, and there's just it's just you know what your role is in life, and you just do it, and
Yeah.
you're working for that American dream. I
Yeah,
love that.
I'm with you, and I think that there probably was. I think there might have been a similar, probably close to the same amount of drama, but I think that you do get a cutoff. Like
Mhm.
when you go home from either work
It
or
was-
school, it's okay. If I don't want to deal with it anymore,
It was done.
It don't matter. Like
Or you fist fought, you shook hands, and it was over.
Yeah.
But now, like with social media, even if you did it in person, and nowadays you hardly get that shit talking in person. It's all
oh
over.
yeah, people don't do it.
It's
They'll
all over
say-
a screen, so it continues to go, and then other people feel like they can jump in because it's not face to face. Not a lot of people want to sit there and be like, "Fuck you, man." Like,
yeah.
they hate it's just because it's all over the phone.
No, yeah, I recently like had a falling out with somebody, and they texted me this big tough guy message of like "fuck you," this, that, and the other, and I said, "Hey man, like I respect you saying that. Why don't you say it to my face? Like you've
No.
never once." I was like, "I bet you will not say that to me." And
I'd-
no response. Nothing.
I'd tell
I was
that
like, yeah.
I'll tell the guy to knuckle up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like I'm not even like the type of dude like to get violent. I've not had to get violent many times, but like, okay, if you're gonna say that shit, okay, then say it to me. Don't just put it over the phone.
I'd have a lot more respect for somebody saying they don't like me and tell me why to my face than over a text message. Like, all right, you still might feel that way, and I know you do,
Yeah.
but at least you don't have enough respect for yourself or me to at least say it to my face.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's weird. It's a funny thing, respect, how it works like that, you know,
Mhm.
where it's like, it's one thing for me to not like somebody because I don't have to agree with them on a lot of things.
yeah.
I don't have to even enjoy their presence necessarily, but like you can still respect somebody and literally not like anything about them.
Yeah.
But it's like so hard the other way around when even if you agree with them on everything, you enjoy their presence, all this shit, and like if you can't respect somebody, like it's a different kind of like distaste not respecting somebody, like if they're just not a respectful person.
It's not even so much as like social media too. It's I don't know what's going on with this mic here. I'm trying to get it like.
Oh
set
yeah.
up.
Oh, I got you. Here, it's easier if you just turn that silver part up. Yeah, like that.
There
and
we
do
go.
that.
Now
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
now we're
Then it'll
cooking.
counterweight. You're all good.
But it's not even so much as social media too. It's I have an issue. I lost my train of thought. This thing completely. threw me
No,
off.
it's all good.
I had
We were
something
talking about
wrong, too.
respect, man, and people. The difference in like, you can dislike somebody completely, but respect them versus the other way
Well,
around.
that's the thing. It's not even just so much as social media too. It's like even you can be with friends with somebody and have a not even just political, but whatever. Like, oh, I love LeBron and MJ sucks. Like, MJ's the goat. LeBron sucks. Like, why can't
Yeah.
they just both be good? Like,
Yeah.
But like stuff like that like ends friendships. Like, people are so petty these days. They just can't get over small shit like that, and it ruins friendships.
Well, I think it shows how I think people are so fragile. I think that's a thing that like it's if you can't stand there and back up how you feel, even if maybe if we were objectively looking at it from a third party and they could say we all know that person's wrong, if you can stand there and actually tell me why you think that, I respect that a million times more than you just say it and yell how you feel, and then the other person says how they feel and you have nothing to say back to them. Now don't get me wrong, if the other person's talking straight out of pocket, you don't want to respond, that's a different story, but it's a lot of people will just have this stance, this hard stance, put their feet in the sand, like this is what I believe or whatever. And then you'd be like, well, this is what, this,
And that's
that, and the
great
other,
and
and you
all,
poke
but-
at it, and they're like, and then they won't have the conversation, and that's not cool.
That's great, and I'll have your stance, and you can have your stance and hold it down, whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
That's your opinions. Those are your
It's
beliefs.
your right to do that, yeah.
But if you're not gonna hear somebody else out that has you feel might have an opposing opinion, it's like you're not gonna hear them out. It's like, well, this conversation goes nowhere.
yeah, and then it's like, well, then I don't want to hear your stand. Then I don't give a fuck about your stand.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Then we just snowball. No one gives a fuck, and then it is where we kind of are right now, I guess,
Yeah.
with social media and everything. SSG Mansure 70. I don't know who that is, but they said, hey, it's my boys, bro. What's going on? Stay a while, hang out with us in the live chat. Yeah, so just so you know, since we do the show live, people can comment and come in as they go, like live and
Oh,
whatnot.
sweet.
People listening on Spotify the next day or so, just so you know if I'm responding to people, that's what's going on. What were we talking about originally? Like being the oldest brother.
Yeah.
And how that works. And you said you're 23.
Yep.
Big Ty's 20.
He acts like a 5-year-old, but he'll be 21 in
Yeah,
December.
he'll be 21. 21 when?
December.
In December. That's what
Yeah.
I thought. Yeah. And no, he's a youngin. I told you he was younger than me. Yeah.
Have you see that baby face of his?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby face.
He's
Big
barely
Ty.
got a few strands on his upper lip there.
Big Ty knows me. It's your boy Cam. Oh, what's up, Cam? How you doing? So, and what's your sister? Your sister's how old?
She'll be 16 on Thursday.
Okay, so she might be dating boys then.
She's had a few, and
And how does that go?
See, that's what makes me nervous to be a father, because like my sister, I love her to death, like she is my own, and she's had a few boys over, and it's just like I try to remember, like I was, I was young too when I was, high school, middle school dating. It's like I
Yeah.
try to remember how it was too, but at the same time, it's like I know how it was too, and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know what they're thinking. It's like, God
Yeah.
damn you. That's why I'm scared to have I know one day I will be a father, and I swear if I have a girl, like
You probably will, man.
I'm gonna like. Some boy comes looking. If he comes up the driveway looking, talking like me,
yeah.
I'm going to jail.
Were you-
I mean, for sure.
Were you a dog then in high school? Were you with the shits when it came to women? Because I
No.
know a lot of guys that like kind of were into that scene. They usually end up having girls, and then like they have that like complex and that regret where they're like, fuck, dude.
But like I
know how I was.
see in high school. Like I'd say most of high school I was with one gal from almost all high school. But at the same time, like I just knew like all my other buddies talk, and it's like I just know how the male brain works too.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you're
yeah.
13 and older, you just one thing's on your mind. So it's
Yeah,
but like in high school, I was with one person. But yeah,
I got you. So you were in a long-term commitment. Big Ty's shaking his head. What are you shaking your head about? What is that? He's being weird behind the scenes. But so you were in a committed relationship for a long time. You're single now, though,
yeah,
right?
single now.
So what's your stance on dating then?
I mean, at the moment, I'm just focused on me and doing some hunting, but I trust the good Lord. He brings a good girl in my life, and the one that can stick it out. I mean, I'm a hard motherfucker to be with, too, and I know
Yeah?
that I'm a hard guy to be around.
Do you argue a lot?
I'm very opinionated. But
Okay.
My mom will tell you the same thing.
Gotcha. What do you argue about when you're dating girls? What is it?
It all depends.
Is it like being late to stuff? Is it like who picks the movie? Like what kind of shit?
I'm just such a laid back. I mean, it's not like anything that comes down. It's like, this is where I stand, but it's like those things that come up and just like, no, my foot's down.
Yeah.
Some girls just kind of roll with it. Some girls want to.
So you're not the compromising type. You don't settle like that.
There are times I'm wrong.
Yeah.
98% of the time I'm not,
Yeah.
and they would agree.
Yeah.
Those few times I am stubborn. So I'm like,
Yeah, I got you.
I don't want to admit it, and then I eventually like I was wrong, and then same thing when and a lot of girls I've been with are the same kind of way. So it's like when they're like, you're right, and I'm like, what'd you say? And they say it again. I'm like, I knew. I just want to hear it twice.
Yeah, I
I'm
got you.
that, but yeah,
You
I'm
get that.
very,
I get like that sometimes too. I think McKenna's probably knows that.
She's
mean,
shaking her head, yeah.
I forget what comedian it is. It might have been Bill Burr, but I think he says that like he's a losing franchise when it comes to arguments in his relationship. I think I'm
That's
probably
Burr.
Yeah, I'm probably also in that boat in the losing franchise when it comes to arguments. But the few I do win, I love to
Boast about them.
yeah, exactly. You got to let them know. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I do win some games,
It's
not
where you
many, but some.
High five yourself afterwards.
Exactly. You got to feel good about it. So you're an older brother. You're the oldest brother. Looking out. You're raising Big Ty, making sure he's safe and okay. Looking after he's looking at me. Looking after your youngest sister, and now she's almost 16 years old,
Yeah.
starting to date boys. How do all those things, as much as we as older siblings care about our younger siblings, how do you feel that has that ever like drained you, taken away from things that you've ever wanted to do in yourself, in your life?
See, I'm a very big family first. Like I actually was hanging out with my uncle on Saturday, and he's like, if I ever ask you to do something, you don't have to. I'm like, no, family first. And I'm a firm believer, because it's family you got till the end.
Yeah.
Love Ty or hate Ty. Like that guy's with me till the end.
Mostly hate Ty. Mostly hate.
Well, younger I hated him a lot, but
Yeah.
now I love him. But
Now he's okay.
I'm the kind of guy, and if I call you, we might not even be blood. If I call you a brother or friend,
Yeah.
you call me up, you need help. It's like, all right, you need money, do you need guns? Like, what do you need me?
I got you.
We'll roll down an alleyway, or I'll come get you and pick you up out of,
Yeah.
jump your bail, whatever it is. So I'm a big family kind of guy, and and if I'm that kind of guy towards you, it means you never wrong me. You wrong me, it's different. So
Yeah.
when it comes to family, like I don't care who it is. It might be my grandfather. He's old as shit.
Yeah.
Good man, good old. Like
Yeah.
I'll still die for him.
Yeah.
It's just, if I call you brother, I call you family. Like I'll die for you.
How do you think you got like that? Was that like just kind of the way you were raised? What ideals kind of stuck with you to like make you have that like family first orientation?
Country music?
Country music.
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is like, I mean, you just kind of grow up like you love your family. That's who you got till the end.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm a good old, I just love good old country song, and that's
You
all.
ever been to Country Thunder? It's like
Never been to Country Thunder.
5 minutes from my house, man.
I went to Country Thunder 2 years ago.
Yeah.
after all the shows are done to pick up somebody in the pouring rain.
Oh, it's
But
always.
I never
raining.
got to experience the concert.
Oh, I
But
got you.
but that's another friend calling me up in time of need. It's like, all right, it's like 1 in the morning or something like that. Like I had to drive. What is it? About an hour.
About an hour, like 50 some minutes.
In the
yeah.
rain, downpouring rain, just
Yeah.
to help a friend out. Like no questions asked.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'll be there. So I'm the kind. How I am. You know. So
That's good though. It's good to have those. And so would you say like in doing that, because you said like people wrong you, then it's not gonna fly that way. And I feel like I'm a similar way in that I'll pretty much do anything I can for the people I care about,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
friends and family. And do you find though like are you like pretty intense about that? Then are your relationships like the people you do have? Is it a big number? I guess. Do you have a lot of friends? Or I'm not trying to be like, oh, are you a loser or not have any
No,
friends?
no,
Or
no.
like,
I
I
know
know
what
me
you s-
personally, I don't have a whole. My circle has definitely shrank because it's like I hold myself. I'm this good of a friend to these people.
Yeah.
I'd expect them to be,
Well, definitely,
similar.
definitely with getting off social media, you really see who your true ride or die kinds of friends are. And there's a country song, called "Damn Good Friends," and one of the things he says in there, he's like, "I got 100 buddies, but I got a few damn good friends." And
That's a
I
good
mean,
way to put it.
I mean, I got a bunch of people like, "Yo, what's up? Let's hang out. Let's go shoot. Do whatever. Let's go fishing." But then there's
Yeah.
those few buddies like, "Hey, man, I'm in trouble." Like, or I'll call them up like, "Hey, let's just shoot shit and talk for an hour
Yeah,
and
just
just
talk.
go for no reason." Like, those are damn good friends. Like,
Yeah.
I got 100 buddies, but I got a few damn good friends.
That's a good way to put it. I like that a lot. And I think that's definitely true. And I've definitely experienced that in my life where it's like, I think as you get older, maybe when you're growing up, you like feel like, oh, everybody's like my best friend. Like I have all these best
Mhm.
friends. And then as you start, having your own aspirations for, career, life, relationships, whatever, things just fall into place. And it's more so like, these are my real guys right here or gals, whatever.
When you're in time of need, call somebody up and they answer and they'll help you out. Then you know who your friends are, and then you call up somebody that says I'll be there for you, and they aren't there. Then they're just
Yeah.
at that point, just get rid of them. They're toxic anyways.
It just they just like the sound of being friends.
Oh, yeah.
They don't actually want to put in
push
the work
comes to
for that.
shove, get in a tight pinch. So, then you'll really know who's really around for you. And 90% of the time, I'd say your family's there.
Yeah.
You know.
What would you say for somebody that doesn't have as like being as family oriented as you are, and obviously you're not like a life coach, so I'm not like forcing you
No.
to give life advice here, but what would you say to somebody that doesn't really have like a great family situation? That wants that that still has those same ideals of like I have my people, maybe it's just their friends or whatever, but like wants to have a circle of people that they really care and trust for.
I think the biggest thing you can do to have that is just be good. If you're just a good person by yourself, then people will gravitate towards you, and then you'll really. So like growing up, I mean, I wasn't really home a lot growing up on the weekends. I was always at my buddy's house. You know? And I talked to him the other day.
Yeah.
And his family, like I went to their family, gatherings, like cookouts, and like, I mean, I called his mom, and I called his dad and pop, like, I mean, I was kind of like part of their family too, even though we weren't blood and I didn't share the same last name. They were my family. So like, if you have a buddy and then like you just really get comfortable with that family and like that you have a family right there,
Exactly, yeah. It doesn't
Family
have to
ain't
just be
always blood.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a good way to put it. We were talking a little bit before we went live about, I mean, you mentioned it earlier too, like with the relationships, you've been kind of focusing on hunting, just putting your work in and then going and enjoying some good old hunting. Now, personally, my fans know that I'm not into hunting, but when you were explaining it, I liked your description of hunting and then your tattoos, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
But what is it about hunting that like really, as opposed to other activities or hobbies, that like keeps you coming back?
See, I'm a God-fearing man, and there are people that like to sit in church, on a Sunday or whatever, and that's how they feel. For me, the biggest way I feel closest to my Creator is sitting in the trees or sitting on the edge of a lake or a river, and because you're just so in tune to everything that's going around you, and just the peace and the serenity of it. I love just sitting there with complete silence with my own thoughts, and you get to appreciate the trees that when they turn color from green to orange to yellow, and just the nature aspect of it. I enjoy the hell out of it. And
so you fish a lot then too?
I actually just bought a boat because I want to do more fishing.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of boat?
It's a 93 fishing boat.
Okay.
Hell of a deal on it.
Yeah.
And my grandfather walked me through. He's like, "You want this?" He called me up on Friday. It was 4:30. I just got off work. He's like, "You like that boat?" Because he told me a couple days before. I was like, "Yeah, I like that boat." He's like, "Well, you better go to the bank, get some cash, and come up here." So I drove 2 hours up north, picked him up. We went to go look at the boat, and needless to say, I drove home that night 2 hours with the boat in the back of the truck.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Shit.
So I'm looking forward to getting.
How big is it? Just like a
16 foot.
Okay, so decent size.
It's a regular size fishing boat, and it's got a lot. I mean, it has all the things you need to catch fish out of. So
Yeah. See, we have a dinghy that we use. That's it. It's a small, like, I think maybe 10 foot, maybe 12 actually.
it's not a rowboat, is it?
It's just what it is.
It's a
rowboat.
rowboat?
Yeah, it's a little rowboat, and it.
You catch
we-
fish out of it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all
No,
you
that's
need.
that's what I spear when we were talking before we started, and I was talking about like when we were spearfishing or bow fishing or whatever. That's what we hit this carp. I'll show you a picture of it when we're done. And it literally like pulled the boat because it was just so small. Like, and I shot it and it just hit and then moved, and the whole boat just turned because it's so
those
small.
carp are big and powerful too.
They're huge.
I've never bow fished. I actually really want to try to start bow fishing.
You
and
should
try it out.
There's I forget what time. I think it's spring. I think it's spring when like
it's
they're
around
spawning.
April.
Yeah, and they on these lakes over here, there's a couple of creeks that like are the little boat
where
that
they
we
feed
have
into.
Yeah, it can fit in there, and like other people's boats can't fit in, so we can get back there and have at them.
I've heard a lot about bow fishing. I've never done it, but carp, I've snagged a lot of carp.
You snag?
Snagging's illegal. Just saying, don't do it.
Yeah.
But it's for the good of the ecosystem. So
Yeah, man, do you do you know like a lot of why it is that carp are so bad? Because I've heard that it's just because like the way that they're bottom feeders, like
Yep.
they go on the bottom, they basically eat all the other fish's eggs, is what I've
yeah,
heard.
and then they breed so easily and they just take up more space and they just diminish ecosystems that way. And just because they pop, you can have like 2 in there, and the next year you'll have like 100, 200.
Yeah.
They just you become so big, and they just take away all the good algae and all the good food and just all the habitat from the fish
Yeah.
that should be there.
I always hear that they're just like terrible. Like no
Little
one is
miserable.
like, no one's like, yeah, I love that there's carp in my lake. Like everybody's like, pissed
Nobody
about
loves
it.
them.
Yeah. What where's like do you fish just out towards Beloit, or what's the biggest lake? Have you fished any of like the Great Lakes, any of that shit?
Rainy Lake up in so the lake is split in half by the Canada and U.S. border. So we stay on
Okay.
the Minnesota side. It's my yearly trip. Take an entire week. You will never have phone reception up there. So you just turn your phone off
I
for
was
a
gonna
week.
say, yeah, it sounds like
I
it.
love it. You know, you just get up there for a week and go fishing. And so like growing up, we were fishing up kind of in the middle of the state on Castle Rock. You know, it's where our cabin's at. And you catch walleyes. You know, you think they're good size. And I remember my first year going up to Canada with my grandfather and my cousins, and the first walleye I caught was 22 inches and just big
Jesus
old belly. You know,
I hear that. Is it like is fishing up closer to Canada just like easier? Like I swear to fuck, like everybody like they'll fish with. I'll see them fishing. I'm not a great fisherman. My dad he's a really good fisherman, and him and his buddies are, and they will like. They'll do really good out here in competitions and whatnot, but then they go up to if they go up towards Canada
Slay
or
'em.
whatever, it's just fucking monsters.
well,
dude.
I don't know what's in the water up there. It's not like
Probably just less people.
I know Minnesota's known for fishing, ice
Okay.
fishing and fishing, but it's like I don't know what's in the water in Minnesota, but they definitely have something because the fish are just quality. You might
Mhm.
not catch like every other cast, but the ones you catch are just. I don't know what happens if they're just like you're too big, get up out of the bottom.
You ever caught I know that I don't know specific. I think it's like a white sturgeon. Have you ever caught any sturgeon up
Mm-mm.
towards Canada? I know that some people go there specifically for that to catch like the bigger sturgeon because they have like some the size of like school buses up there in
Yeah.
some of the lakes. That's fucking terrifying. I mean, it's a dinosaur.
I've never went for anything like muskie or sturgeon, nothing like that. I wouldn't mind doing, but those are fish like that. You have to fish specifically for that fish.
Yeah, you have to have like I mean, you probably need a special pole for
set up
something
for
like that.
everything,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's. Have you ever gone like out on like the ocean or anything like that? Any
Mm-mm.
deep sea fishing?
That's a bucket list thing you have to do.
Yeah. I
Yes.
figure just you being like an outdoors dude, like you'd want to go do that.
Oh, it's definitely something that's gonna happen at some point in time. I might just go down to Florida next springtime to go down
Yeah.
and visit my grandparents and go off the ocean, off the coast.
Bro, I can't mess with the ocean. I was on a cruise with one of my buddies, and like we stopped a couple places, and we're swimming at this like private beach that is like they do like excursions and shit when you're on a cruise, and so it's
Mm.
like you can just stop at the ports and do whatever, but if you like you're there for a whole day, so you could set other shit up with other companies, and it was like this little private beach that we went to, and she set the whole thing up, and we show up. It's super cool, super nice. I think it was in Costa Maya, and I'm sitting on this like paddleboard, and my friend's little brother, who's like maybe 10 or 12, is sitting on another paddleboard across from me. We're just like talking, just chilling, and there's this big fucking stingray just chilling underneath him. And he's just
Man.
like, let's race back to shore, Darren. I'm like, hey, why don't you just chill for a second? Let's just keep talking like we're doing right, because I don't want to freak him out. I'm already freaked out because I'm like, dude, fuck this.
Steve Irwin
like,
just yeah.
I'm like, dude, I ain't trying to
RIP
go
to
out
that
like
guy.
that. Yeah, dude, that was. I mean, I didn't watch a ton of his stuff, but I liked him. I enjoyed him.
I'm
you know?
still trying to process that death. He's
Really?
one of my favorite guys growing up.
Damn, man. When did he die? It was
Like 07, I think. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
it
early
was-
in the thousands.
yeah.
But
I just remember it being on every single newspaper. When I was a
Animal
kid.
Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, there's some really good memes of him where it's like, this is the most poisonous snake in the world. I'm gonna go poke it. Like that's what his job was. And there's like new guys that do that too. I don't know if you know who Coyote Peterson is. He that's the guy you showed me, right, McKenna? Yeah. The guy with the bite. He gets stung by everything and gets bit by shit. Like you gotta look his shit up. What's his channel called? Coyote Peterson. It might be that. Yeah. He basically, so he'll like do like a pain test for every single like snapping turtles, like big bee
Sign up for
stings, like
that.
poisonous bites and shit. I mean, it's like psychotic shit, but he
Yeah,
does it.
yeah.
He does it safely, and he's like so like calm and nice to the animals. Like it's like disturbing. Like he'll get stung. Did he do a scorpion? I think at one point. He's done like everything. He'll sit there and he's like got his hand ready to go, and he's like, all right. And he's explaining like the facts, like this scorpion is this, blah 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 blah. Like, and he's like, so then they like aggravate it basically, and he's got his hand right there, and it stings. It's like stings him or puts the poison in him or whatever, and he's just like sitting there, and it's like it's trying to fucking kill him, and he's like, okay, now we're gonna need to remove it, and he's like just talking super calm and nice, just lightly moves it, like takes such good care of the animal, and he's just sitting there like, yeah, I gotta go to the hospital now, like whatever. And
Thanks
that
for
shit blows
watching.
my mind. It just blows my mind when people can do that shit. But that's what like even him, Steve Irwin, was kind of like. I feel like maybe he pioneered that sort of lane for that guy to be able to do that now.
Yeah, there's a lot of different lanes out there for shit like that.
Have you ever seen River Monsters? You
I
ever watched it?
love
That was my
Jeremy
shit
Wade.
back in the day, dude. That was my shit. Like I loved like the piranha episode. I mean every single one of those episodes. That was
The
really good.
Arapaima was a cool one.
Yeah, dude. That shit. He did they went fishing for a white sturgeon once.
Did
That's
they?
why I brought that up, because I knew he went specifically up to Canada. I think it was like right on the border.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been like towards the Minnesota area. But they found it's like the specific lake that has like 14 to 26 foot sturgeons.
That is
It's
crazy.
fucking insane. That's a shark.
Yeah.
That's the size of a shark. Like that's
Oh, yeah.
insane.
That's the length of my truck.
Yeah, that's fucking scary, dude.
I'd ride that to work.
Yeah,
See what
dude.
guys think.
God, that'd be insane. So being in the outdoors, you say that like helps for you. That's your church. That's like you.
Yeah, it's my
that
church.
Helps you realize that you're human. What do you say to people that don't enjoy or agree with like hunting in general, like killing animals for no reason? Do you eat the animals?
Everything I get.
Mad respect for that too, because
See,
a lot of people don't
see,
do that.
What I think the biggest thing is, and I've watched enough and heard enough about this, is like trophy hunting. Like you can't, like my uncle's, he can't eat the horns. They're cool to look at. You can't eat them.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's also the fun of going out there, is like getting the big one. Because obviously that deer to get that big has gone years and years of not getting seen by hunters, not been shot by a hunter. Like
Yeah.
to finally get that big one, it's kind of like I finally outsmarted the smartest one out here in the woods. But my biggest thing is like, if you don't, I just don't. I get it. If you don't want to eat the meat and you think animal cruelty is fine, but like you have to understand too. For me to put a bullet through that deer's lungs or an arrow through it, a couple years ago I shot a buck and hit him through both lungs. He ran 10 yards and died within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I killed the animal. I ate every bit of it, and I enjoy cooking it. It's a lot more. I enjoy cooking in general, but I enjoy cooking everything I kill because you put the time in out in the woods. You sat in the cold. You sat in the rain. You sat in the
And even
snow.
when you were explaining to me all the different things that you have to take into account, like where they're going to eat and versus where they're staying,
You
and
gotta
all these different
pattern
wind
them
patterns
out.
and whatnot. Like,
It's you put the time in. You sit in there, and to finally get it, then you have to clean it. You have to take the guts out and like not to get too gory, but like you have to process it, and then when you finally have it on your table, you have a slab of meat, you cook it up the way you want to, and you get to share it with friends and family. And like to me, like that, the experience of it all is like going out there and sitting through the elements, the weather, taking the process of it and appreciating that animal, whether it's a goose, duck, squirrel, rabbit, deer, whatever it is. You go through the process of sitting through it, you get it, and then you get to come home, cook it up, and share it with friends and family.
yeah.
And if I didn't, if that deer didn't get shot then, he was either going to get shot by somebody else that might not have eaten everything off of it.
Yeah.
or let's say a pack of coyotes come up and that deer is laying there until it just bleeds out as 6 or 7 coyotes
Yeah.
pick it apart, or wolves, or a bear.
I get what you're saying. I think
It's a more peacefully death, or they die of starvation in the wintertime of old age. Like, as cruel as it sounds, like I shot it, that's the quickest, fastest death it'll ever see in the outdoors.
Yeah.
So it's kind of more humane.
Well, and I think when you describe all the other aspects that go into it, even someone like me, so like I don't really I only take problem with like people that are like you can tell some people are like super excited just to kill things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
those people freak me out just a little bit. I think
Oh.
rightfully so, and there's a lot of guys that do that. But I think if you're comparing like the whole process that you just laid out versus a factory farm, me eating a burger that I bought from Walmart or whatever, like that's, I would say, and because I'm big, I love animals, like I'm totally like hate all that animal cruelty shit. And so like for me, and I still be fucking eating shit from Walmart and whatever. Like I'm trying to, I'm against it, and
See,
I try and do what I can, but
I spend the extra money if I'm not eating something I ate, like I'll buy a burger or something.
Yeah.
Like I'll try to find the stuff. It's more expensive.
like grass fed,
grain fed. Humanely, like factory farms are terrible.
Yeah, and
chickens don't get that big for like.
Exactly. Well, and that's the whole thing. So like that's where I, being someone who like I just don't personally want to go hunting, I can respect that standpoint of it, where I think that it's like infinitely better for animal. Imagine if everybody had to go out and get. I mean, how long did the deer last you too? If you got a huge buck.
If you got a really big one that's really old, like a good one's like 6, maybe 7, and that's where they kind of start dying off, and their antlers don't get so big no more, and it's just harder for them to get through the winter times. And but like,
how long would that last you, like food wise?
I mean, if I ate every meal out of it, it'd probably last me a year. If I got 2 a year, it'd last me an entire year.
And so like I think that that's where like I can make, like, where people are like totally anti-hunting, I think that's like a little dicey. Like I don't think they have a lot of like room to stand on, where it's like I think definitely should be against like animal cruelty and these like factory farm bullshit, but like doing something like that is so much better and feeds you for so much longer if everybody did that.
You take more pride in it too, and because you had the time you had to spend to practice with your gun or your bow.
Yeah.
You had to put the time in for that. So like my season,
you know where it came from. Like every step of the way.
All
like
natural.
it wasn't some cow, or
It's
some
all
chicken
natural.
raised in a fucking 1x1, little thing that was basically eating its own shit and then getting injected with hormones, and then you end up eating that 5 years from now.
See, I do have an issue with trophy hunters, the guys that just shoot for racks or and do illegal shit. I have an issue with that, and I have an issue with guys that. I mean, I had a few bad shots, and that just comes with, like Tom Brady, best quarterback ever.
Yeah.
He still throws an interception every now and then.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you can
exactly.
You can shoot all you want, you still make a bad shot.
You're still gonna
I had
miss.
a few bad shots last year, but I'd try to shoot him where I know it's gonna be quick and painless for him, and like I take pride in like making it as merciful of a kill for them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they do suffer. And then like last year I looked I walked 8 miles through the woods last year to try to find a deer I shot, and I had just a bad shot, something went wrong, and I mean I still lose sleep to this night about losing that deer, and just knowing that so hopefully someone else shot it as it ran past and got it.
Yeah.
But it makes me my stomach turn. I lose sleep over not finding it and just having a bad shot, and
I get that.
it eats me away. But it's a roller coaster of emotion when you see you've been sitting there for a couple hours and it's kind of raining or snowing and it's just whatever, and you finally see that thing come in, and you're like, oh, it's like you get that adrenaline. You have to like calm your breath down, then you finally pull back or you pull your gun up, and then like that, and then you shoot, and you're just like the gun goes off, or that's the sound of when your arrow hits that. It's just like you have adrenaline going on. You're like ho ho ho, and then like for me, I watched my one just lay down and die. So it's like I know it's dead, and then it's just like I felt so shooken up. It wasn't like I'm like jumping around screaming like I got one. It's just more or less like the nerves kind of come down, and then I go up to it, and I'm like, and then you just like then the process starts. But like I don't get down and kiss the animal and pray with the animal, but like I do appreciate what I have in front of me and the work I got to get there, and what it's gonna go to is me and eating, and I understand people don't like it, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like we were talking about earlier, like you might not have the same opinion I do, but at least respect me for doing what I do, and I respect you for not doing it.
Yeah, and I think
both honorable.
Yeah, and I think when that's where like I've always kind of had that a similar stance where it's like something that I just don't do personally, but I'm not against like people going hunting, especially
Yeah.
when you're gonna take care of the animal. You take pride in what you do. Like you're
Mhm.
serious about the craft. Like
And
there's nothing. Who can argue? Like what are you gonna say? Like if you're mad at this person, then you better be 10 times more mad at these people for doing the
farming
shit
these
that-
cows.
and people might, and I'm sure there are people that are mad at both things, and that's fair, and they can have that, you know.
respect you.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that's an interesting conversation, and I think that hunting, or at least a lot of people that maybe think like me and don't want to go out and try it or don't want to
Mhm.
go do it,
That's
whatever. They got to get off like their high horse, thinking that like they're just
Yeah.
like a better person because
But
they'd never done it.
Besides the fact that like it feeds me for years, like you have to understand, like for the ecosystem, it puts everything in check and balance. You know, the wolves can only eat so many deer, and if you have too many wolves and they eat all the deer, and then they take over.
What would happen if there was too many deer? Are deer like a invasive? Would they do anything though? Crazy?
Well, I mean, you go up north too. I mean, they start colonizing subdivisions. Like, look how many raccoons and possums you see running through the cities
yeah.
nowadays. You know
Yeah.
that I'm gonna go out and shoot a possum, eat a possum, but
Yeah.
everything plays a balance to it too. And a lot of people don't understand. Like, turkeys were almost extinct
Really?
in the United States in the early 1900s and same thing with white-tailed deer, just due to like the trade and the fur trade and everything going on for the outdoorsmen. You know,
Mm-hmm.
back when they first colonized America, they'd go out and skin deer, sell deer hides. You know,
So they were, was it overhunting? Then?
overhunted.
Okay.
And because then now we have the DNR or Game and Fish, they give out so many licenses and tags. They go out and survey, like, okay, we know there's this many deer in this area. We can have this many deer. We can give out these many tags for
And
this
still
many
have a
hunters.
healthy population. Yeah.
Maintain a healthy population. Same thing with coyotes, which are crazy.
Yeah.
Because turkeys and whitetails were almost extinct in the early 1900s.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
But because of Game and Fish, and they regulated, you can hunt this many, you can kill this many this time of year, whatever. Now turkeys are in 48 out of the 50 states, so not Alaska or Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then white-tailed deer are plentiful, so plentiful in fact that like I think Pennsylvania, has
Interesting.
the most car collisions with white-tailed deer.
Damn, that sucks for them.
Oh,
That's
it's
sad.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
we
like 1
helped
in
them
5
stay
cars.
alive, yeah, so that they could get smoked by cars.
Exactly.
Dude, oh man, one time, I was over in Antioch, and we were driving. I think it was like 35 or 40, and there's like this truck pulled over on the side of the road. And he's like facing the wrong way, like he's like facing me, in my lane, and but he's like off this side. So I'm like, why the fuck is this dude's lights on? Is at night, and I didn't know what was fucking going on, and I'm just driving, and then all of a sudden, poof,
Deer.
full deer. He smoked the deer. It was dead. Another piece of blood splattered on my windshield. And I was driving with this girl I went to high school with, and one of my friends, Brad, and we're sitting there, and the blood splats up, and I remember her just screaming, like just like the highest pitched scream, like just like starts crying, and I'm like, it was already dead. I didn't do it. He did it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. I couldn't see anything. His lights were like, I get what he was trying to do to have people probably not keep driving.
Yeah.
But he should have like put his fucking hazards on or something. It's just his like, I sort of it was a newer truck, so it's got like those bright lights.
Oh yeah.
And he just is facing oncoming traffic, so I couldn't see anything. And all of a sudden, boom, and there's blood on my windshield. I'm like, oh my god.
You want
I
to talk
did not
about a
just do
painful way
that.
for a deer to go is getting hit by a car, because there's a few times especially up north, you drive past and ran into a buddy, he actually hit a deer, and the deer was still laying on the side of the road and squirming
Oh
around.
my
It's like,
God.
so we put it out of its misery and waited for he waited for the sheriff to come around, because he hit it, but
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I hate seeing animals suffer. I love eating deer, but
Yeah.
I hate seeing them suffer too like that. And
Do you catch and release fish, or do you catch and fillet? Like, do you?
it
do you eat a
depends
lot
on
of
the
fish?
kind of fish and how big they are. Like, obviously you can't, if it's a legal size, you have
Yeah.
to toss it back, so which I
Yeah.
obviously do that. But if it's a good kind of fish, like I love good walleye, northern, perch, and bluegill, like I'll keep and catch and fillet
Mhm.
them up.
Yeah.
Especially size too. Like, I might catch a walleye, but if it's gonna be more of a hassle for even some legal sizes, or like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot more of a pain for me to clean this up. You just toss them back, let them grow.
Yeah. Do you ever? I know you were saying with the deer, like, a really big deer, like part of the great part about getting it is knowing how long it was able to avoid being
Mhm.
gotten. Right.
Oh, it's
do you feel
insane.
that same way with fish then too? Would you still
No.
keep it, or would you put it back?
I think
Because I feel like
some fish get big by mistake, and some fish, if you're somewhat of a good fisherman, you just drop that lure on their head, and they have no other way to retaliate but bite onto it and go for a good ride. But
Yeah.
I think fishing is kind of different because it's the fun of catching the fish is like you're out there casting, and then you finally have that wham, and it's like
Yeah.
then the fight's on for. I fought fish for 30 minutes before.
Damn. What kind of fish?
It was a carp,
Carp. Oh. Okay,
and
yeah.
it took a ride. My line was dragging. It was a
Yeah.
good old time, and
Damn.
I've had put up a good fight with a smallmouth up in Rainy Lake. It was a big old smallmouth, and it's just the part of that too is like you're casting, and then they finally had that rod go,
Yeah.
and it's like the fights can be on. Some fish fight for good, and
Yeah. See, I always like. I mean, mostly because my dad would catch and clean them, and we would eat them. But I don't. Most of the time, I don't do that. If I catch them, I just put them back, even if it's like a huge fish. I'm just like, dude, this fucking fish is awesome. Just
Mhm.
let it get even more awesome.
get
Like,
your
let it
pictures
just-
and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let it do its thing. Speaking of, my dad says, who is the GOAT country artist in your
who's
eyes?
the goat? Oh, that's. See, I got so many favorites right
Big
now.
Ty says Wheeler Walker Jr. for sure.
I do love Wheeler Walker for sure. As of right now, my biggest favorite right now is Riley Green,
Okay.
hands
Not
down.
familiar with him. I'm not big into country music, so I don't know.
I appreciate all music. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
But like right now, Riley Green. Another big favorite is Brantley Gilbert's my go-to.
Okay. Not familiar with either one. No. See, I like the country music I like is like the pop country music that like most
God
most
damn
country
you.
music people hate. That's
We're
what, like-
done.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
leaving
see,
at this.
Yeah, see, that's what like I
The
like,
bro country.
yeah,
that's what they call
you
it.
know, like
Hip hop.
I can I can deal with some Thomas Rhett. I think
I do like Thomas Rhett because not all of his shit's pop.
yeah, he's good. Well, I think like too. I think even the guys that are pop, like I feel like their albums probably are better suited for
Mhm.
country people because like people like me, I'm not listening to a whole Thomas Rhett album, but I'm sure he's got like full on country songs on there. But
That's
I
the
just
thing
like
with-
pop music.
That's
So
the thing with music though is not to completely get into music with that, but it's like with country particularly because it's hard for a lot of rock to kind of like branch over to pop.
Mhm.
You know, you can have like a good kind of country sound, but also make it poppy too.
yeah,
to
because
where-
it's more it's guitar. It's all guitar based, and
Mhm.
so
Like,
guitar is super
The
popular.
chords kind of match up too. So I think it's easier for country to branch over. Like Sam Hunt, like you could hear him on,
Yeah, Sam Hunt. Yeah, I like Sam Hunt.
You could hear him on 95.3 The Bull, or you could hear him on 97 ZOK. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he can go on both. So I think it's easier for country to pop over, and I think that's why country's kind of making them more of an upswing. But I like a good Merle Haggard,
What about
Willie
Garth
Nelson.
Brooks? That's what
I hate Garth Brooks.
you hate. Garth Brooks.
Hate Garth Brooks.
Really? I don't
Can't
fucking
stand
listen
him.
to Garth Brooks either. I don't know.
Even in Friends in Low Places, can't stand Garth Brooks.
Really?
Just can't do it.
How?
He's a weird looking guy. You ever see the guy? He never blinks.
No, yeah.
I mean, he's just a weird guy. He looks like a sociopath, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm surprised, man. I'm surprised you never been to Country Thunder. I know a lot of my friends, people
It's-
around here are big into that.
It's so hard because like right when I could afford a ticket, it's because I was working and
Then
my
you're working. Yeah.
I not that I always love who always loves going to work. You might do what you love. You're not gonna love what you do every day because it's work. You know,
Yeah.
you get paid to do something. It turns into a job, and not all jobs are always fun. But I enjoy using my time off because I'd have to take off that week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather do that for hunting or fishing.
Yeah, which makes sense then.
But I
That's fair.
still would, like I went up to see Brantley Gilbert in Milwaukee last February. I mean, that was one of the best country
Dude,
shows
see,
I ever went.
For my whole like just growing up here, where like Country Thunder literally happens like 5 minutes from my house, I just like never like could even comprehend like going to a country concert that wasn't there. I never even been to Country Thunder. Like I'm just because I'm not into country music really. But I just like a friend of mine. Well, how do you feel about Dan and Shay? Because they're pretty much pop, but like they
See-
do country.
See, guys like that, like Dan Shay, like a Sam Hunt, like they have a few catchy songs. You got me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like Dan Shay, like Tequila's my favorite.
Yeah.
But like anything else, that like I'm not a fan. Like I'm not following everything you put out.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I hear it on the radio and it's catchy, like cool, you got me on this one. you
Yeah.
know? But other than that, like I'm not a diehard like
Because a
Florida,
friend
like
asked
Florida
me to
Georgia
go to them.
Line.
Florida Georgia Line, yeah.
Can't. Their first album was cool, and then they just really turned to whatever. I'm just like, yeah.
They were like
I'm
all
over it.
over. I used to play the WWE video games, and they were like all over those soundtracks. It
Really?
was just all fucking Florida Georgia Line. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? A fucking RKO, and I'm listening to Florida Georgia Line right now. It's just
That's
weird.
insane.
weird.
I couldn't imagine a country song being on WWE. They used to play that when I was growing up, like SmackDown 09. That was my
Oh yeah,
favorite
those
on
are
the
good
Wii.
fucking games, dude. They're
Yeah.
fun. It's something about. I wish
Wrestling's changed. They're not fun. It's not fun to watch no more.
the superstar. I feel like someone told me that too. Like I feel like there's only like a couple of years that like WWE can like really be like appealing to you too. For me, it was like 7th and like 8th grade, I was like, WWE is
Mm.
fucking awesome.
Where you're doing it on the trampoline at your buddy's
Oh,
house,
yeah.
like, dude, let
Yeah.
me tombstone. He's like, no. Like,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on, man, trust
Yeah.
me, I got you.
See, it's easier to convince your little brother to let you do the moves on you.
He had no choice.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
you just have to let me do this to you.
exactly. You have
And
to
if you
practice.
cry, don't tell him.
Exactly. Yeah.
The look he gave me.
And that's
Yeah, he
no, man,
knows.
and I think it's weird. I always wondered like when I was watching WWE, even as like a fucking 7th and 8th grader, I'm sitting there like, there's a lot of adults here. Like, and no disrespect to people, but like, I don't think I could be a grown
And they're
man.
not all fathers.
Yeah,
Let me tell you that.
I don't know if I could be a grown man and like go watch a bunch of dudes in their underwear like have a soap opera for 3 hours. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
hug each other. For
It's
a couple
just as
minutes.
creepy as like a guy outside a youth baseball game with a white panel van and having free candy afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing here, man?
Yeah, there's
like,
a little weirdness going on, and it's no disrespect to the WWE like community, because I think I think a lot of them are actually like talented actors. The fact that they can pretend to
it's just
do that. I
throwing
mean,
them and tumbling.
yeah, but I mean, like, even though like it's 3 hours, like Raw is 3 hours.
That's
Monday Night
insane.
Raw is, I don't know, they might have shortened it, but I remember when I was watching it, they upped it from 1 hour to a 3-hour time slot, and I was like,
Mhm.
bro. No, because it's like I already had to sit through 45 minutes of talking to watch fucking 2 people fight, and I only care about one of them.
And
Like,
it's all staged anyways.
exactly, it's all fake. I wish there was like, I know UFC is obviously that's completely real, but like I wish like I would love to see a real life ladder match, dude.
Oh,
like
yeah.
pad the ladder up with like so people don't like straight up die,
Oh, I
but, like,
want to see blood and gore.
dude.
Yeah.
But just have people like. I said this before that they should fucking, if Fortnite was a real thing and you had, and listen, this is my pitch for Fortnite being real.
Ooh,
You would have
I'm in.
We'd have an island. We'd have a set island. Have to be X amount. I don't know how big it would have to be, but 100 people, just like in Fortnite. Each person, just for doing it, gets $10,000 sent straight to their family.
Ooh,
10
just
grand,
their
just-
family or
just
not even you?
10. Well, because you might not live, so you get 10 grand for signing up.
I'm so arrogant.
10
I'm winning.
10 grand for signing up, and then however, so like I think if like you made top 10, your family would get X amount more money, and then if
Okay.
you won, you get to keep like probably it'd be a ridiculous amount of money, because I imagine how many everybody in the world would watch if there was a fucking real life Fortnite
Absolutely.
or Hunger Games.
Or you want to take it to another notch. You would make it even more fun to watch. Like they fight for their freedom. Like take prisoners. Like
Dude, yeah.
100 prisoners convicted. Like
See, that'd
go
be
ahead.
pretty fucked. Our prison system's already fucked up and corrupt. We're
It
just
can't
like,
get
yeah,
worse than that.
Yeah,
you know?
that's fair. That's fair.
Winner gets freedom.
That's God. That would be something. People that would get very violent.
I
imagine.
asked this question to a few people. Are you a big the Punisher fan, like Frank Castle? You know much of
I've
that?
not seen much. I'm big into like the Marvel movies, but
Okay.
I never watched any of like the Punisher stuff.
See, like, he's just a big badass guy. And I was talking about like Fortnite and just like surviving type stuff. Like I was like John Wick. I was like,
I love John Wick.
who would win in a match, John Wick or the Punisher, straight up?
See, I don't know. I haven't watched enough of the Punisher, so I would go with John Wick. But I wanted to fucking
Get into it.
They gotta make. I'm telling you, they need to make like just an ultimate like badass, like either a video game or maybe like a crossover like animated movie if they had to. John Wick, Jason Bourne, fucking
That was not
007, and
James
then
Bond.
yeah,
What about John McClane from Die Hard?
dude, yeah, and just
He's
throw.
a tough badass.
It would be like that would be a fun game, like, and just do it like waves, like zombies, like Call of Duty zombies, but like each person make it like in Apex Legends, how you have like your own class with each character. So like John Wick has these special abilities. This person has these special abilities. I
Oh,
just think
yeah.
that would go nuts.
That'd be cool as shit.
Have you seen all the John Wicks?
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for the fourth one.
Dude, that series is insane. I love that series
it all
so
started
much.
with some guy killing his dog, and I probably would have done the same
Yeah.
damn thing.
Yeah, no, it. I remember people. I didn't watch it. I watched all 3 last year for the first time. Like I hadn't seen.
You didn't watch them when they came out?
I hadn't seen them. Like people had talked about it, but I'd never seen them. And then my roommates were watching it one day, and I was like, "Dude, that looks dope. What is this?" And they're like, "We'll start it over." And I was like, "You're gonna start the whole movie over?" Like, "Dude, we fucking love
Oh,
it."
yeah.
They're like, "We love this movie. I'll watch it again."
John Wick's one of those movies. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just start from the beginning.
Yeah,
no
we'll
big
just
deal.
watch it again. Fuck it. And so we watched both of them that day, and then I was like, "Holy shit!" I was sold. And 2 weeks later, the third movie was coming out.
Oh,
so I was
yeah.
like, "Okay, yeah, I'll
Going
go."
to the theater, yeah,
So
for this
yeah,
one.
so then I'm fucking going to see John Wick 3. And yeah, that shit is dope. There's something about that, and it's so weird because like it shouldn't. Like there are movies where like people are just too good, and you're like, oh, it's lame, but it works for him. Like because
Yeah.
he gets his ass beat, like he does,
Oh.
but he just wins.
Pays his
Yeah.
dues, but you just can't beat him.
Yeah,
That's how the the Punisher is too. He's like, you might get him down, but you ain't gonna stop him.
yeah,
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think you get into it if you like John Wick.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out for sure.
Oh yeah.
What what else? I forgot. What were we talking about right before that? We kind of got off topic a little bit. We were into hunting for a minute there.
I can't remember.
I wanted your tattoo, your reasoning for your tattoos, and how you decide if you're gonna get a tattoo. That you said your mom. So give me that story again, because we talked about that before we went on air.
Because we were talking about having tattoos and did they hurt, and then we jumped into how long. I hate people that don't get stuff that means something to them. So like this one took me 3 years to plan out, and as I planned it out, I did this one. So this took 2 years to plan. What did you get
the tattoos about? I mean, you don't have to like walk me through every single one, but in general, like what is like a theme that we could expect?
It's pretty faith based. Okay. In my own way of describing how I see faith and how I wanted to portray what it means to me. But the question I asked is, remember I was 18 years old, skipped a day, half day high school to get my first tattoo inside here.
You got to do it sometimes.
And I remember I came home and my mom and my grandmother they're good old Catholic girls. And God gave you one body and just like turned off by it. And I asked 3 questions to myself: is what does it mean to me? Can I live with it forever? And how can I explain this to my kids? Mm-hmm. If I can explain all 3 of those, if I can answer all 3 of those questions inside myself, I get it. So those are because you got to live with it forever. So there's no sense of it not meaning anything to you.
Yeah.
If it's because it's with you till you die.
Yeah.
And I'd say most of the people on the earth are gonna have kids one day, and they're gonna ask, Daddy, what's that? What's this? And
yeah.
If you're embarrassed to tell them or explain it to them, obviously not when they're 6. Like this is the Reaper.
Yeah.
Maybe when they get older and they tell them the story behind it, they'd understand it. So like.
Yeah, but have something.
Those questions will come up. And it's like, are you gonna be embarrassed to tell them? Like that was a drunken mistake. That was a drunk tattoo, or that was the woman's name before I met your mom. Something like that. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Don't want to.
No, I don't want to regret anything. Yeah.
I got you.
Regrets.
I think that's a good way to go about it. That's why I might have talked about it a couple of times on the show that I've gone back and forth with getting tattoos, and I just that me being that indecisive has just answered the question for me. Mm-hmm. Okay, if you're not sure, then don't do it. Like I've always thought that I wanted one. I really originally wanted to get like a sleeve, like a half sleeve to like my chest, my left chest, because my right arm's strictly for getting buckets on Big Ty. But so I wanted to get. I think that's Swaggy P. I stole that from him. Swaggy P said that. But so that's what. Yeah, I've always gone back and forth. But like, I don't know that there's enough that I would want. Like, I don't think I need that much space.
Is it because you don't know if you like the tattoos enough to have it for forever, or do you think you're just not gonna go with it? Because I remember when I first got it, I was like, I'll never let go with the sleeve, and then now I end up having 2, and I'm not joking. It's like I hear it enough, like, oh, you let go with sleeves, and like I know. It's like now I'm at the point like I want to get a leg sleeve, so it's like I don't know if I'm gonna let go with the leg sleeve. So I guarantee it's like one of those things in your head. It's like I don't know if I'll let go with it, and then you do, and you're just like, yeah, this is my thing.
Leg tattoos freak me out, man. I'm not gonna lie. I got a friend of the show. He did this calendar. He's a photographer, Dylan. I think he was on the first episode of this year. And he's got some interesting leg tattoos like Buzz Lightyear and all this shit. And he's got some funny stuff. But I remember I was joking with him about like leg tattoos and whatnot, and he's like, "Well, I got some." And I was like, "Fuck!" Like I don't know. Like I've seen like those memes like of the people that get leg tattoos is because they don't got the arms to get them on their arms, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like so I've just always been weird with leg tattoos.
I don't have arms for them either, but having tattoos covers up not having arms.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm a skinny guy too. I'm scared I'll look like Pete Davidson like once I get all the tattoos.
Yeah,
that's shout out Pete Davidson. He's funny as fuck, but I just.
You get a little more muscle on your arms than he does.
I mean, I hope so. I played a little bit of sports. And
he's just whatever he is. I don't know.
He's just a lengthy, funny looking guy. Yeah, he is. But that's what. Yeah, I'm nervous. I don't know how I would look with it, and so like that's why like if I'm not super proud of what it is, then I don't want to do it. So
yeah, definitely it's kind of like you put pride into it and what it means to you, and then eventually you start looking like eventually I think it becomes your look.
Is it addictive? Getting a tattoo? Because I've had a lot of people be like, dude, once you get one, like I just want to keep getting tattoos.
I have 2 sleeves and I have a few other spots. They're addictive.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, you got the full setup.
Yeah, 2 full sleeves. I'm gonna bring them down to the top of my hands and then bring this one up completely. I'm gonna be tattooed all the way up before I'm done.
You got like back tattoo?
I'll never do my back.
Good. Because that's somewhere where I just don't think. It's just like the tramp stamp thing.
I'll never see it.
Yeah, that's where like that's the thing. Like, don't you want to like be able to be like, this is my tat? Like,
yeah,
I just
show it off.
Hey, bro, you want to see my tat?
Let me get.
Turn
there's
around.
no mirror here conveniently for me. I can't see it.
Yeah,
you can't ever see it, and there's a lot of real estate back there. That's a lot of time to fill up. I just don't want to do my back.
Your back's like hypersensitive too. I feel like that's just like stupid to go through that pain for something you're not even gonna see.
Yeah, no, all my tattoos I can look at and see. You know,
Yeah.
I've never understood back tattoos, and I'll never get one.
Yeah. No, yeah, I couldn't do it. I don't know. I don't think male or female should get a back tattoo. It's just
No.
weird. It freaks me out a little bit.
Especially the tramp stamp.
Yeah.
Such a turn off.
Yeah, it's so funny, dude. They're just funny looking. You took that from Swaggy T? No, Swaggy P, you idiot. Just kidding. That was me responding to Big Ty in the comments real quick. Man, was there anything I said that is there anything you need from me? Anything that we didn't go over that you need to get off your chest here on the detox? Or any questions for me? Anything?
I don't think. I mean, I had a good time. I don't know if are we wrapping up?
Oh, we don't have to. I was just.
Oh shit!
I was
saying,
didn't have
we
anything.
wrapping up.
Those were like the three biggest things I wanted to go over.
This has been fun. I mean, this is easy breezy talk. You know.
Yeah, no, you're
I don't know
chill,
if
dude.
there's any
like
more.
I said.
If there's any more questions in the comments
People-
for me, I guess I don't know.
Let's see what Big Ty was talking about. His favorite country singer. I didn't even know Big Ty listened to country. Do you? Have you Big Ty?
I didn't know
Big
this
Ty
either.
raps, right? Big Ty raps a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen with the turkey and the bologna, and he's got he makes some good
Yeah,
raps.
he does
Yeah.
make some good. Oh, his ass is big. Sad.
He makes those crunch raps. You ever talk about?
No, I never had his crunch raps.
Has he told you about them though?
No, actually. I think
Okay.
you did. You did mention it one time. You make the
breakfast crunch wraps, like
Yes,
the Taco
yeah,
Bell
yeah.
kind. They're a lot thicker and fatter than Taco Bell, but like one time he's like, "You want it tomorrow morning? You have to go to Taco Bell and get it." And so I went there. I was like, "Can I just get the sauces for it?" And like,
Yeah.
so it was like $2 for it, and so I brought him home. He made it. I mean, it's a thick. It's just
yeah.
it's a meaty wrap.
Dude, that's what. So we make because McKenna doesn't. You're pescatarian currently, right? Still, yeah. So she like only eats like fish sometimes for like meat or whatever. And we Taco Bell just got rid of all of their potato, like all of their like potato options. So like I used to love I would get like a Crunchwrap Supreme and then like 2 loaded potato grillers. Cause like those are just fire. And so she makes them at home though, and they are like just as
Identical.
fucking good and but bigger and whatever.
But they
It's
taste
just,
better
like,
because you put the effort into making
yeah.
them.
See, I didn't put the effort in. She did.
But they
so.
still taste good because it came from love.
Exactly.
She put the time and effort into it, and you're like, you
Exactly.
appreciate it.
That's what we always force Big Ty to make burgers whenever he's here. I'd say every other time he's here maybe.
Is he good at making burgers?
He thinks he is.
Yeah, he thinks he is.
He's he destroyed my stove last time.
Did he at least clean it up?
No, he didn't. We cleaned it up. He's mad. What do you got to say about that? You want to clear the air?
I don't want to make them. You guys made me make them.
I didn't make you make them. I didn't make you make them. I didn't make you make. So Big Ty's argument is that we forced him to make them, but I think we were running the 1-year special that I was hosting, and I didn't have time to cook 50 burgers, so we had to have one of my subordinates do so.
Yeah. And just so happens he's had some prior experience to
Exactly.
flipping burgers. So what
Exactly.
better guy to do it than him?
Have you ever worked in food, or would you just like?
I did the movie theater. I worked in the movie
Oh,
theater.
you worked in the movie theater, same one he did.
Yep. I actually because I was working there and I got my job what I do now. I didn't need that high school job no more. I was like, I told my boss, the manager at the time, I was like, look, I'm done. My
Yeah.
brother's starting for me. So like
So that's how that worked.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I
As
was
fuck.
like, he's gonna start for me, and then she pulled up his application and was like, all right. So he started up and he eventually became a manager. And
Yeah.
I mean that was the best thing ever. Like I didn't pay for a movie from high school up until when he left.
Yeah.
It was
What-
awesome.
What's like the weirdest shit? I've asked this for Big Ty, and he had some choice stories for me. What's the weirdest shit that could happen working in a movie theater?
So I got 2. I'll save the best one for last. So the first time I was working concessions, and I can't remember if it was the first. What's that girl movie that came out about she getting tied up and stuff?
Oh, I don't. Oh, it's
Yeah,
50
50
Shades of Grey. Yeah, okay.
I can't remember if it
I
was the
like,
second
shit, what?
one, second one or the first one. I was working the register, and some guy came up to me with his girlfriend. They bought popcorn, and he was like, "You guys sell any napkins or lotions?" I'm like, "Isn't that not what her spit's for and her hand is?" Or like, he starts laughing because I was the kind of guy like, dude, if it gets me fired or whatever, at least I
Yeah.
got a good laugh out of it.
Yeah.
So they walked the theater laughing, but the best story, the craziest thing ever happened to me. I think it was around Halloween. I don't know if it was on Halloween or not, but we dressed up like we got to go to work wearing costumes. So I was
Yeah.
wearing this like Captain America costume with a big like poofy, padded chest,
Okay, got you.
and I was wearing my mask. And I was doing like you checking theaters and checking aisles, and I seen these boys on their phone. They're like 12, 13-year-olds. So as dressed as Captain America, I went up behind these boys, and I'm not joking when I say this. So there's 3 boys. The boy in the middle is on his phone, and he's looking down on his phone, and all I could see was a black ass and a white cock.
What?
They were watching porn in the theater, so
Why? Why?
so I was like, and then like he obviously jumped and like shut his phone off. Like I was like, stay off your phone during the movie. Dressed as Captain America, I think that's the biggest fucking joke ever.
Bust
Like,
somebody watching porn as
in the-
Captain America in a movie theater.
so. Yeah, it was
America's
America's
ass.
ass.
Yeah.
So after the movie's done, we're waiting for the theater to clean out so we can go in there and sweep it up. And the boy came up to me, he's like, "Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you for a second?" And like pulls me aside. He's like, "I just want to say I'm really sorry about being on my phone during the theater movie." Now, I told him, I was like, next time just clean up after yourself. I don't care.
Yeah, goddamn,
Like-
dude, this Beloit theater is wild as fuck, dude.
Oh, it was insane. I
I've
mean,
never like heard. I mean, granted, I guess I never worked at a movie theater, but like,
I think it's just a Beloit thing. I don't know what it is, but
I mean,
there was cops and I mean, it
Big
was
Ty told me there's
insane.
human shit in one of the fucking movie
I
theaters.
don't mean to brag, but I do mean to brag. I still hold the kick-out record for working there.
Really.
So like, it was funny because like during
what do people get kicked out for?
just talking too much, not listening to me after I give them a warning, being on their phone, starting fights in the theater, and I break them up. I mean,
I don't get why you go to the movies to talk through the movie.
I
If I
literally-
pay to go watch a movie, not at my house, I'm fucking watching the movie.
I literally went to. It was a SpongeBob movie that came out when I was in high school,
Yeah.
and it was down on the front. This kid was turned up talking to the girls behind him. He was standing up, leaning against the seats in front of him, back to the screen. I was like, "Get out!" I didn't even give him a warning. He's like, "No." I was like, "You're talking." He's like, "No, I'm not." I was like, "You're literally standing up and your back to the screen. You're clearly not watching the movies. Like, get out." So like, this is during the time when American Sniper came out with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And so like because Chris Kyle is known for his, you know, his the amount of confirmed kills he had is the most in U.S. history.
Yeah.
And so like everyone's kind of joking like, Blake, your count's getting up there. I had like 50 kickouts. I ended up leaving the theater after 3 years with 125 kickouts.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
dude.
I kicked out a lot of kids.
Holy fuck.
I loved it. Every Friday night, like I loved going to work
Just
because
to
I
kick 'em
knew
out.
I knew, especially with certain movies that came out, like I knew I was gonna have like at least 20 that night.
Damn, dude.
I had
Did
a
they
good
cry
time.
ever? Any people cry?
No, one guy tried to like push me and shove me. I just kind of shoved his ass to the ground. I was like, "Get out!" And then
Yeah.
he realized, all right, and he's bigger than me and
Yeah.
left. Like other than that, like they just kind of like they just run their mouth like anybody nowadays. They just run their mouth and walk away from you, and they won't ever say it to your face. And so you just I had a few kids just try to get in my face and
It just blows my mind, like the weird shit that
Why?
could happen in a movie theater. Like, why not just like if you paid, like, I mean, how much is it to like get a regular ticket to a movie usually? Like,
Let's say on a Friday night, $12.
yeah, like
Yeah.
if I'm paying $12 to go see a fucking movie,
Plus popcorns and drinks. And
exactly. I'm not fucking
I
getting
was-
kicked out. I'm not doing dumb shit.
I
dude.
got a talking to one time. I can't remember. It was Taken 3. I remember that much. And these kids were just running a ruckus. They were running around talking up, and like we had like regulars. You know, like you kind of like so and so's on Friday night, so and so's on Tuesday night. Like you just had regulars.
Yeah.
And I kind of got in trouble for it. I gave these 2 people free passes.
Mhm.
I was not my job to do that, but I felt so bad because I pretty much sat in that movie with them because the kids wouldn't be, quiet down and they
Yeah.
wouldn't leave. And so I just gave them free pass because I felt so damn bad that someone came to a theater and ruined the movie. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to go see this movie, I'm going to go,
And someone else ruins it. Yeah.
yeah. And like, and I'm the kind of guy too, like I went to go see The Lion King when it came out, and guy was behind me and they're chatting up. I'm like, you need to shut the fuck up. I didn't say that right away. I was like, "Can you guys be quiet?" And then they wouldn't be quiet. And I was like, "Can you guys shut the fuck up?" Tyler was
Yeah.
working there. I was like, "You gotta come in and do something because I'm gonna just,
And then I got fired.
I'm gonna
That's
start."
the night you got fired. That's the night you got fired.
Because I was gonna throw hands. So like I was so fucking pissed, and like they didn't kick him out, and the Lion King was ruined for me
Yeah.
once again, and Mustafa still made me cry. Like
Yeah.
it ruined my night, and I was gonna fist fight these kids, and they were probably underage. I was like, I was just so. My girlfriend at the time, she was just chill out. I'm like, no, I didn't pay for the movie. I was like, I still came out here out of my way to watch this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Got him in for free. He's complaining.
Got him in for free. He's
But anyways, yeah, I was so mad. I went back home and I went on Google review and maybe left a nasty review. It was an honest review. It was a
Yeah.
true review, but it was nasty.
That's fair. I'm sure the review. I'd love to read the reviews from the Beloit Theater, just knowing what I know about it.
The manager at the time told Tyler, like, if your brother doesn't take that down or leaves another one like that, you're done.
Damn.
So he
That's
pretty much
wild.
blackmailed my brother. So whoever's out there watching, he was blackmailed.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was blackmailed because of me.
that's wild.
I know, it's crazy.
And that's not your fault. That's a bad. The
It was
kids
just an
are.
honest review.
Yeah, kids are
My
being
movies-
ridiculous.
Movie's ruined.
Damn. Yeah, dude, the whole movie theater shit just cracks me up. I remember seen a video. I think it was in the news when Endgame came out. Some douchebag kids came. They were like I saw it like the first like possible showing other than like employees. I think you got to see it early, right? Employees like got to see the movies early.
Mhm.
But like the first like available showing that like the public could see, like we had like the earliest time we saw it at like 6 o'clock the day it came out, and because it's fucking a
Packed.
3-hour movie, yeah, full whatever. But I guess there was in a different theater. It was like the same day. Some kids had seen it the first showing, and then came out of the theater screaming what had happened. And like some like older dude like beat
See,
the fuck out of these kids.
At that point, I'd love
I would too, because
Let's
dude,
go ahead and do it, man, because you're an asshole if
Bro,
you're going to come
fuck
and give
you.
spoilers. But,
for
okay,
Endgame, not just for a game, for any
Oh,
movie, for Endgame.
the cap
dude.
of all the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being that dedicated to that, where you're going to pay to sit through 3 hours of a movie, to pay for another ticket to sit through another 3 hours just to drop spoilers. Like, you deserve to get your ass whooped.
Oh yeah, you deserve everything that's coming to you.
100%.
Yeah, I would have killed somebody if someone would have done that. I'm glad. That's why I had
I'd
to
have
get the
bitch
earliest
slapped
one.
the shit out of that person.
Dude.
I don't care if it's a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't ruin my movie.
Exactly. Especially that movie.
And it's a
how
movie
big
like that, you
was.
can't just wait till it comes on DVD because, like, you need to know. Otherwise, you're
it's-
going to see spoilers and you're just like,
Yeah, it's pop culture, dude. Everybody
Yeah.
is talking about it. Everybody wants to see. It's the highest grossing movie of all time now.
Mhm.
I think.
I think
right?
it topped Titanic.
Yeah, I
think
think
it
it
did.
passed Titanic and Avatar. Right? It's the highest grossing now. Do you guys?
It
know?
was
Yeah.
Titanic, then Avatar, and then it's Endgame.
Yeah, now
I
it's
think
Endgame.
Endgame took it.
Yeah, that's
Way
insane.
better movie than Titanic and Avatar.
I've seen
And I
Avatar.
fucked with them when they came out.
I saw Avatar. I've not even seen Titanic. It's a long movie too, right?
Extremely long, and there's a few blue ball parts, but other than that, it's just you just watch this boat just sink. That's
Yeah.
all it is. And some old lady just hung up on an X.
Oh
Go
shit.
figure.
I
Yeah.
heard that there's enough space for Leo. That's all I know. That there was enough space for Leo to get on the thing, and he
There
didn't do it.
definitely was, but that just proves some women, most women, are just greedy and just want it all for
Just
themselves.
leave the men to
Leave us in
die.
the dust,
Yeah.
or in the icy water and die. Whatever
Yeah.
one it takes.
Damn, that's sad. That's
Maybe
so
that's why I'm
sad.
still single.
Maybe that is.
I think I love. I think I love a tree a lot more than I love a woman.
Damn.
I'm just joking. There's probably one
Say,
out there to love
yeah,
more
there-
though.
there is.
At this time though, I
Yeah.
think I just want to hunt.
Like you said before, it'll come into your life. You don't have
Oh,
to.
yeah.
You don't have to be out looking for it.
No
That's.
rush.
I hate when people will act like that. Like, oh, I need a boyfriend, or I need a girlfriend, or I'm trying to blah blah blah. Like,
Learn if you can't live with yourself and love yourself,
that's weird.
and you need someone else to take your mind off yourself, then you have a lot more issues you need to dissect.
Yeah, well, that's just like a weirdo fucking like perspective. Like I need blah, blah, blah. Like no, you shouldn't.
No.
You should be okay as you
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
I enjoy other people's companies and
Yeah.
being intimate with someone like that, but at the same time, I don't need it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It should add, like when people be like, "Oh, so and so like completes me." Like that's like setting yourself up for a toxic relationship because you should be a full ass
You're
person.
setting yourself up for toxicity or just disappointment when they
Yeah,
up and
because it
run.
shouldn't be two people completing one another. It should be you're a full human being. You've realized
Mhm.
yourself, and same here.
Yeah.
And then you just enjoy each other's company like that.
Because what happens when they leave, and you're back to where you were.
Then you're not a complete
beforehand.
person. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
you're relying. And I have too. I'm just like a weird like control freak. So I like hate relying on other people.
Mhm.
Like even
That
when
and
I do my
pride.
show, dude. Like I like that's why like I post everybody now. Like this was the first month I did it because I had so many people cancel so many times, and it's just like, not only is it mad disrespectful, but it's like
Mhm.
I already have like issues with like. I don't want this person to drive because like I just want to make sure we're just going there and back because
Yep.
they're on the way back to me like, hey, I got to stop at so and so's house
Mhm.
or whatever, and I don't know why I get like weird anxiety with that.
Yeah,
So,
I,
like-
I joked around with Tyler before. He was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm not feeling good. I'm not going." He's like, "Fuck you." I'm like, "I'm joking. I'm coming."
He would freak out. He would call me. He'd call me like, bro,
no.
bro.
He's like, "I'm coming. I'm doing the podcast."
yeah, I'll do it instead. No, we got big Ty coming back.
Well,
for
he used to tell me
Halloween.
that. I remember telling him a lot. I was like, if he ever needs a guest, he's like, yeah, but you need to have topics. Like, okay. And then I never said nothing else to him. I was like, well, he needs a guest. I was like, I'll do it.
Yeah,
And then I just understand, like, if you're going to sign up and do something, like, not only is it disrespectful, it's also a waste of your time too, because you put in effort into this setup.
Yeah.
You take time out of your day, and this is I just don't understand people that waste time like that.
Yeah, it is. It's just mad annoying.
And just disrespectful. It says a lot about the person I would cancel.
Yeah.
Unless it was like a legitimate reason.
And that's what I've had that twice, where like they like messaged me like a week before and were like, "Hey, I'm not gonna be in town,"
And
I'm
it gives
like,
you some advance
and
of like.
I can schedule. I remember like the one dude, Mitchell Klein. So shout out to him if he's listening. We're gonna do an episode soon, but this guy, he's a cool dude that I've known since high school, and he wants to do an episode, and we scheduled it. I think it was for last month. Week before, he hits me up like, "Hey, I'm not gonna be in town. I thought I was gonna be in town." I was like, "Dude, thank you so." And I just like left him like the night, and he was like, I could tell he's probably like, "Bro, you're being kind of weird," but I'm like, "Dude, like nobody does this.
Yeah.
People literally, I will text them like, 'Yo, we're still good for today, right?' And don't get a fucking response, and I'm like, bro,
That's shitty.
it's
as
just
fuck.
so shitty."
See,
And I
I put
messaged
it-
them the day before, and they're like, "Yeah, we're good." And
See, I put it in my phone just so I remembered it was today. 'Cause I'm that
Yeah.
kind of. I like to plan like all my hunt trips, like everything. Like today's
Yeah.
this day, like so
Stay
I can look at my phone.
organized.
Yeah, so because I'm a very forgetful guy.
yeah,
I told a lot of people like if we have plans, that you have to remind me unless I put it in my
Write
phone.
it down,
I
yeah.
don't.
I forget shit too. That's why I have a planner, because if I don't,
5
then I
minutes
don't know where the
ago,
fuck I'm going.
Couldn't tell what you said about 5 minutes ago.
That's
Probably
fair.
not, yeah,
That's fair.
5 years ago I could tell you what I said word for word on a certain day.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just random. Like you kind of just like
Here-
short term.
Very selective memory.
That's fair too.
Very
That's
selective.
fair too. Dude, there was some. I used that. Oh, my mom said she used that as the end game. She used the end game thing as a trivia question. What were we were just talking about a second ago? I had to ask. I wanted to ask you a question. Oh, when you were mentioning Big Ty asking you to be on the show or whatever, he mentioned to me, and I don't know how much you want to get into this, if not, but he said you were maybe writing a book, or you were thinking about. Are you thinking about it, or did you already start?
I am started into it, and the thing is, so I'm a very this is the kind of way. I don't know if you're the same way. This for me, I'm the kind of guy like if I know there's an end product,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get done with it and get
Yeah.
to it. So I'm very not a good patient person, but writing this book's made me learn patience.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I was telling people I'm writing it, and then I was writing it, and I didn't write it. I kept telling people I was writing it, and I still am. But then I realized like I'm writing a book about my life, so I was kind of hard on myself. Like I didn't write it for 9 months, and I kept telling people that 9 months I was writing it. But it made me realize like I'm writing a book about my life and everything I've been through, so I have to live life in order to
You have
write
to
about
be
it.
through shit too.
Yeah,
write
so,
about
like,
it, yeah.
But it's a good way of like for me it's like it's very therapeutic, and for me like I want it. It's for therapy. It helps me out and kind of rationalize everything that I went through.
Yeah.
At the same time too, like I really want some kid one day to read it and not feel the way I felt growing up.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's my biggest thing is like it helps me out, but at the same time like I hope it helps some kid out too. Like, well, I went through something like that too, or he went through this, and it's
Yeah.
not about comparing like, oh, that's way worse than what I'm
It's
through.
just not
like,
feeling alone. that
yeah,
way.
and so like I want some kid someday to read it, and my biggest thing, so like I know I'm gonna do this, and I don't care if I'm a millionaire at the point or if I'm making what I make now, like whatever I set for like a price for the book when it's done, like whatever let's say I'm selling it for $12, like I'm gonna have like $6, like $3 a piece go to like domestic abuse and drug abuse and like suicide prevention. Like a lot of the money is gonna be donated to organizations that help youth, get out of drugs and get
Yeah.
out of domestic abuse and suicide prevention. Like those are like big things for me, and that's what I want kids to realize is not those aren't the ways, and I want to give money to those charities.
Yeah. Is that so? Without getting too heavy, maybe under the topics of the books, I'm sure. Are you in like the early stages of writing it, or how far along? Do you want it to be your entire life, or is it kind of like
The biggest moments, like
what shaped you into who you are?
what
sort of?
shaped me to me, and like I talk about things I've been through, and I'm not gonna get into it because otherwise they're not gonna buy the book.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, I'll tell you some of the stuff off air. But
Yeah.
it's like I write about everything I kind of been through, and it took me up until like honestly a couple months ago to really like wrap my head around it. So like writing what I've been through, how I've gotten through to this point, and how I managed and coped to still be here. Because there's a lot of times, honestly, I thought about it and I tried. I wouldn't be here sitting here talking to you if I didn't. So that's why I'm just
Yeah.
really writing about like in everything I've been through, and it's not that uncommon. So
Yeah.
like, but there's a lot of kids that go through it every single day.
And they feel alone. That's the thing
And
too.
biggest thing for me is like I had 2 amazing uncles and an amazing grandfather that, and a lot of football coaches that were there and good mentors for me. Like if I didn't have the support system around me, I probably would be another statistic. And a lot of kids that go through something similar or the same thing, like
Mhm.
if they don't have, you know, role models and other family members to back them up like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to write the book for, is maybe that I'm not their mentor or role model, but at least they have some sort of like inspiration to it.
Yeah.
And another book I read that really kind of helped me kick off writing again was a book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
David Goggins is my fucking man, dude.
That dude,
I want that book so bad.
I seen him talk live.
Oh, really? That's
So-
fucking dope.
So in high school, I was trying to be a Navy SEAL,
Okay.
and I was gonna go do that. But so I went to the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee to see
Mhm.
David Goggins talk, and Marcus Luttrell, the Lone Survivor, is one of my other favorite guys.
Okay.
So like, and he told his story. And I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet. That's badass. He's a bad motherfucker." And then he
Yeah.
forgot about it. And then I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast one day, and I was like, I know that guy. And then he told me his story. I was like, that's David Goggins.
Yeah.
So then I heard he had a book, so I bought his book. I read his book, and the things that guy went through about, and like,
He's insane,
inspirational
bro.
to me.
He's insane. I love watching his videos. I want to read his book really bad. Like,
I haven't, and you can borrow. And
dude, I would
I
love
get-
to. Yeah.
it's an
seriously.
amazing book. But like in the back of the book, he was talking about it took him 7 years to write that book. I'm like, 7 years? I'm not even 3 years into it yet. You know, it's
Yeah.
like if it took him 7 years, like I know it's not gonna be an easy process, like bing bang boom, but it's something I'm. And you can understand this as being an artist and doing your own like. You're gonna put your best effort into it, make it what you want it, and you're not gonna put it out there for people to listen to unless it's like
Until you
put
think
your
it's
stamp
ready.
of approval on it. So
Yeah.
like the mixes sound good, every verse and everything makes
Yeah.
a song good. You're not gonna put out there to people to listen to. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe Ty will hear a demo like, "What do you think, man? What can I do better?" But when the finished product for everybody, like, so I'm writing, but it's not done yet. But the people that have read it and I've given the privilege of like giving me some feedback,
Mm-hmm.
they want more. They want me to keep doing it. So I've gotten some good feedback from the people I've shared it with already.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's teaching me to be patient, and
That's
that's
cool.
It's a lack thing I don't have.
If you had to
but-
classify the book into like maybe a genre or something like that, would you put it along the same lines as something like maybe not specifically the same subject matter, but like a David Goggins, like is it like a self-help?
self-help and like being
Like
like
a
mentally
mindset?
tough and an autobiography. You
Gotcha.
know, like things I've been through, the autobiography, but it's like a self-help. Like this would help me, might help work for you. And
Yeah.
biggest thing I know, I'm the mentally toughest person I know, and like things that David got, like that guy makes me look like shit. But
Yeah.
like
He
just
makes
being
us all
mentally
look like
tough, it
shit,
just I love David Goggins as shit. So I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a great way. I mean, he's all about, you know, you have to control your mind, and once you master your
Mhm.
mind, then like, you know,
Callous-
the world can't stop you. Yeah,
callous your mind up.
exactly.
And I took into what he said, and like in his book he kind of talks about how to get to that point for yourself. And once I did that, like I feel like
yeah, you
you
gain. I'm
can't-
sure you gain a different control. I mean, I've had points in my life where I felt like I had a pretty good grasp, and there's other times where things have happened and I've let that slide, definitely. But just listening to him speak and how he's been able to, you know, mold his mind and be able to control his situation the way he does, it's
wait
It's
until you read
insane.
his book. You'll be like, you think you know him, and everything he says is so fucking true. But then you read his book, and he's like, I didn't even know that happened to him. I don't know how he did that.
yeah.
Like there's like I'm not even telling you just because you're gonna read
Yeah,
the book
yeah.
and be like, holy
I definitely
shit.
want to read that. That sounds fucking
No,
dope.
definitely you're gonna get it and read it.
What okay, we're probably gonna wrap it up here in a second. Is there any last closing words from you, Blake, that you want the good people of Detox to know?
Just subscribe and
This is a good man right there.
Yeah, no, I
Subscribe to the
mean,
channel, yeah.
I like good people that put effort into what they do, whether it's music, podcast, or just being a good person. And you're a great guy. Tyler talks you up, and I trust
I
his best
appreciate that.
judgment and getting to know you after this. And
Yeah, no, you seem like an awesome dude. We gotta kick it more.
I love guys that put a lot of work and effort into what they do and what they love, and that's
Mhm.
definitely what you do. So like, subscribe and like and share this too, because
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Dude, you're
I'm not
plugging
even-
it for me. He's plugging it for
I'm
me
not
right
even-
now.
I'm
I'm
not
not even
even
to do the
joking.
outro. No,
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man, for real. And like I said, I appreciate you being on and even like wanting to do this
Oh yeah.
and like even getting to share different perspectives on things like hunting and whatnot. Like I just appreciate that.
I definitely
appreciate
think we
someone-
can just sit here and shoot the bull for another hour if
Exactly.
we wanted to.
Yeah,
It's that
we
easy.
definitely could, and who knows? Maybe once the camera stop rolling, we will. But I want to just wrap it up. We got a couple people still watching live, and I want to say thank you to our patrons. thank you guys. They should be up on the screen right now. You guys know who you are. I really appreciate you guys helping support the channel. Really helps us out a ton. And there's still some videos over there that I know some people haven't seen. So if you want access to some private videos and whatnot, go subscribe to the Patreon. Other than that, this has been the 65th episode of the Detox Podcast, sponsored by Kenosha Auto Insurance, featuring my man Blake Davis, and he's gonna have a book for us hopefully next time we get him on the show.
Yes, sir.
Who knows how long, but that'd be sick. That'd be
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool. Appreciate you being on, man. Appreciate everybody watching. I'll see you guys next week.